Hey guys, Warrior Pax here, back at you again with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build this gal, Toa Athena. So, without further ado, let's get started on the legs. As you can see, here are the pieces you'll need for one of the legs. As you could probably guess by now, pause the video now if you need to gather any of the pieces. So, with that said, let's begin. For the foot, it's very simple. Roxy foot of your color of choice, and a hand socket piece of matching color. And there's the foot. For the lower leg, you're going to want to use a Paraka leg and this little assembly right here, which is just a Borok guy with an axle pin, or a pin axle, or whatever you'd like to call it, attached to it. And you place it like that. So the pin is going right there where my finger is, the top pinhole. And you just snap that onto the foot socket. And for the thigh, very basic, just one of these old double socket pieces. And there you go. And obviously, you're going to need 2 legs. So yeah. Now, let's get on with the arms. Alright, so, as you can probably see, here are the pieces you'll need to make one of the arms. Pause the video now, again, if you need to gather any pieces, and let's begin. So, we'll start from the upper arm. The upper arm, it's a standard Roxy leg design, just socket of your choice, a tan or blue pin axle pin going into the pinhole of one of these pieces. I'm pretty sure these were new for the Roxy, and a 2-length axle. You can use red if you want. I'm just using black because it looks better. Gonna want a Vaki leg for the forearm, and for the hand, it's just a standard socket hand. No custom hands this time. So, obviously you're gonna want 2, so build that again. And there are your arms. So, let's begin with the torso. Here are the pieces you'll need to make the torso. Again, pause the video now if you need to gather in the pieces. And let's begin with the lower torso, which is these parts over here. So, Vaki waist with a socket attached to it via the 3-length axle. And this is going to be the crotch plate, or the front of the waist, if you will. And you're going to want 2 of these, one in the waist and one for one of the weapons that I'll be showing off later. This is a 3-length axle pin, 2-length pin, 1-length axle. You're going to want 2 of these, and again, one of them for one of the weapons that I have off camera. And this is going into the axle hole of this little system assembly, which is just a 1x2 brick with an axle hole and just a bunch of random system plates with 2 slopes, cheese slopes, and a stud with a hole through it. So yeah, that's going to be the crotch plate, if you will. And this is going through the top center hole, this pin piece. You're going to want to shove it through the top center pin. So you have that sticking out. And for what will be the buttocks, you're going to want one of these T-lift arms. I never knew the name of these, but you're going to want, or if I can get it out, There we go. You're going to want one of these pieces. Again, I never knew the name of these. You can laugh at me in the comments if you want. With a pin at the very bottom. So you're going to want it like this. I always call it like a T, left arm. And you're going to want a, if you can see it, a 1x1 tile, or tile plate, in a transparent color of your choice. I'm going with green, as you can probably see. You're going to want to attach the 1x1 plate to the top center hole again. And then that simply, if you can see what the hell I'm doing, like that. So you see? Right, like that. So, it's the waist done. Now for the upper torso, which is basically just this with a bunch of stuff just shoved onto it. This is a 8-long axle with a stopper with a ball joint attached to it. And let's begin shoving stuff onto this. So, you're going to want 2 of these pieces. You're going to slide those down first. Then you're going to slide a ball joint down with a size, if I can see it, a size 4 CCBS shell in silver attached to the ball joint there. So you have that. Then we attach one of these G2 Bionicle armor attachment pieces via the 2 axle holes right there, and those pieces you shoved on first, because those can hold on to the armor pins that the CCBS system uses. So that's the base for the upper torso. Then you're going to want 2 full-sized bushings shoved on, the second of which having a tire, a normal tire on it, just for the sake of like filler. Then you're going to want this little assembly, which is one of these pieces attached to a socket, attached to a ball joint. This will be what attaches the chest plate, which is just a Roxy head with a Lego set attached to it via the pinhole. Anyways, you'll want to attach the piece for the chest plate on, and then attach one of these old things. A Roxy torso, or a Roxy upper torso, with a couple of sockets attached to it via the 2-length axles. Then attach the chest plate. Hope that it doesn't fall off 50 frickin' times during the how to build. Then, as you can probably guess, attach the upper torso to the lower torso. And there you go. There's the torso. So now, let's move on with the head. Alright, so these are the pieces you'll need to make the head and the neck. Pause the video now if you need to gather any pieces. And let's begin. So, for the neck, you're going to want a socket with one of these pieces. You can use something else if you want to. I just went with this because I can. And because it was really the only piece that attached to the axle hole here without it like jutting out all ugly like. So again, you can use another piece if you want to. I just went with this because I can. And for the head itself, as you can probably see, it's a Metru head using the 08 brain stock with a 4-long axle going through the axle hole in the back. And then this will be the hair. This will be the hair piece. I'm going to want another one of those pieces that you slid onto the torso first, or what became the torso rather, attached to a Makuta foot from '08. This came in Biddle. You're going to want to attach those two together via a 3-lung pin, or 3-lung axle, and slide that on. Attach the head to the neck joint, and then, last but not least, the mask, which is just an '08 adaptive Evoke. So, now that you got the pieces all put together, or the parts rather, let's put them together. Grab the torso, if the chest plate would stop falling off. Grab the legs, grab the arms, and then raise the camera, because you can't see shit, Cap'n. Scooch up so I can manage the camera. Again, chest plate. You know, fun fact, I actually recorded this twice, and both of them would not go through yesterday. Yeah, this was originally intended to be a Valentine's Day special thing, I guess, but the camera decided to be a little dickbag. Anyways, enough of my personal life. Let's get back to the how to build. So yeah, attach the legs to the leg ball joints, and this friggin' thing just loves to fall off. I have no idea why. I just started doing that one day. And the arms, and here's a little thing that I want to talk to you about with the arms. When you're attaching these, you might want to use 2 of the smallest CCBS bone, so that way, as you can see here, without that CCBS bone, she can't move her arm straight out in front of her like that. She can't do that without that small CCBS bone. So I'd suggest using those. That's the first time that's ever happened. Anyway, let's put her neck and head on. And then, there you go. That's the base figure done. So, let's get started with the weapons. And here are the pieces you'll need for all of the weapons. So, as you can probably guess, pause the video now if you need to gather any pieces. So with that said, let's begin. So for the first weapon, which is her Mighty Sky Blaster, it's just, as you could guess, a Mighty Sky Blaster, and I'm using green Zamor spheres, Zamor, however you say it, with another one of those pieces that you used for attaching the chest plate with a 2-length axle attached to the bottom one. So it's like this. So that's the first weapon done. Now with the swords, it's very simple. You just take your key rock blades and attach these little assemblies, these angle 1 Technic connectors with a pin axle going into them. Like that. That twice. Make sure you don't almost accidentally make 2 of the same sword, like I did just now. And there's the swords. Now for the shotgun, the scoped double-barrel shotgun of murder death. Yes, that is its official name. Talk to her about it, not me. Anyways, here, as you can guess, this is probably the most complex weapon out of her entire arsenal, out of Athena's entire arsenal. So, with that said, let's start building, shall we? So, it's basically 2 of these pieces for the front and 2 of these pieces for the back. That's basically the inner or the outer shell, if you will. Plus these 2 thin lift arms and a bushing. So you're going to want that on both sides, as you can see here. So, to attach all of that, you're going to want 2 of these, as WCP calls them, very useful pieces, or Connor Hoffman. You attach them like that via 3 length axles. So there you go. It's a secure connection. It's not flopping around, as you can see. This, however, 2 more very useful pieces, this time with 2 length axles instead of 3 lengths, is going directly underneath that connection. So right there. And that's just for like structural support. Although it does rattle around, as you can see, as it just falls off the table. There we go. There we go. For the barrels of the shotgun, you're going to want these things going on. Just 2 or 3 axle extenders, and in the bottom barrel's case, you're going to want a normal axle pin, or pin axle, whatever you call them. But for the upper barrel, though, you're going to want the other 3 length axle pin, 2 length pin, 1 length axle that I was talking to you about earlier. And you're going to want one of those, this assembly going through the top hole and into the pinhole of one of these. So you got that going on. Attach the bottom barrel to the lower pinhole. And there's the barrels. And they attach via this right here. You could see me slaying out, and that fell off. I'm just gonna leave that there until I put on the rest of the cover. But yeah, you're gonna want those. Okay, you want the barrels attaching via this. That. So that's how that works. For the scope, you're gonna want a cross block with one of these pieces. These came off 2015 Tahoe and a couple of other sets from G2. So you're going to want that, and it attaches via this frontmost, or what will be the frontmost, 3 length axle. So you got that going on. Now, for the rest of it, for the rest of the shotgun, you're going to want a 3 length pin, just a normal 3 length pin, with an angle 1 Technic connector going through it, attached like that, as the barrels fall out. And for the last piece, before we attach this and the cover and the handle, you're going to want another cross block with a 3 length axle going through it, attaching to the back. And for the handle, another one of these pieces with these 90-degree axle connectors. You're going to want to attach it to this 2-length axle that's sticking out. That's been sticking out ever since I brought all these pieces on camera. Then attach or place this piece in there. It's more so for filler than it is structural support, but whatever. And now we just simply attach the covers. So that and that. And that. So there you go. There's your double-barreled scoped shotgun of murder death. Again, yes, that is its official name. Take it up with Toa Athena, not me. So let's bring Toa herself back in. Bring in her weapons, or the rest of her weapons. Raise the camera so you can see what the heck I'm doing. And let's show off all the weapons. So, if I can put them in her hands, there's one of her swords. And here she is with both of her swords. Her 2 Key Rock Blade swords. You can give her both her guns. Her giant Midex Sky Blaster. She uses it's like a gigantic bazooka, I guess. And again, her double-barreled shotgun, or double-barreled scoped shotgun of murder death, as her chest plate falls off. So, yeah. Got that going on. You can give her one of the swords and one of the guns. You can give her both the swords and both the guns. Whatever you want to do. So, time for the overview. So, yeah. That's the how to build for Toa Athena as her chest plate falls off yet again. Surprised this has fallen off less times than I thought it would. Anyways, yeah, if you want to watch more videos, be sure to subscribe. If you liked it, give it a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike. Again, laugh at me at the comments for not knowing the official terms of some of the parts, like this piece right here, for butt plate, if you will. And yeah. So, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, get updated for all my videos, and yeah, goodbye!